The sanguine child. Normally, the sanguine children are slender children. They're well proportioned. They're very supple in their body, and they have sort of this lightness of being quality about them. They are very, very enthusiastic children, more extroverted, like the choleric. They're on the extroverted side. They're excited about life. They love their friends. They really are considered the social butterflies in the classroom. They love to flit from this person to that person. They usually have quite a few friends. Rather than that one friend, they like to have many, many friends. And they are just sort of overall that picture of childhood itself. You know, they're friendly, very playful, fun loving, tend to be more on the optimistic side. They have a lot of energy, like the choleric, but it's not as intense as a choleric. It's more that bouncy Tigger energy rather than that rabbit, let's get it done energy. So they enjoy people. They enjoy organizing parties. They love to sort of the banquet. They love the banquet. They like to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. They're always interested in new ideas and have a profound love for adventure. So they can be the children, as easygoing as they are. They can be the children that are much more distractible. So I've been hearing from parents during this interim time of working at home, how do I get this child to focus? So that's not really the strength of the sanguine. It's kind of like, oh, got that done, got it done, got it done. And it happens really fast. They tend to have short attention spans and are more impulsive in that way. So one of their challenges is this lack of follow through. So what I recommend for the sanguine child, the way we work with them in the classroom is you honor that they have this, these gifts. So we'll often make them the ones to go do the errands, and, go get the notes to Kristen, or go here, go there, do this, do that, and then come back. And then for this amount of time, we're going to work and we're going to get this done. And then they need to know when their next little outlet is to try something else fun. So they're not going to be the ones to sit down for a long period of time and just plow through the work. But so that what they're going to need from you is some guidance on structure. That is not their strong suit. So, 10 minutes of this, and then we'll get back to our puzzle, and then we're going to do half an hour of this, and as long as they know how that's going to go, and that structure is put in place for them, then they can dig in and get the work done. They don't love routines, and they have a hard time getting organized. So that is something that we actually really have to help the sanguine with. Setting, kind of going over things ahead of time, reviewing their day ahead of time and showing them what the structure will be. And then really not fudging on it, because if they can feel that there's a hole in the dam, they're going to move their water somewhere else because they just really would prefer to have quite a bit of fun. The way that we can support a sanguine child is by toning down environments. They tend to be overly distracted anyways, so they do well with having their rooms decluttered, kind of softened. They are collectors, so they often have a lot of things that have a lot of sentimental value to them. And it's really not helpful for a sanguine to have a cluttered environment. It just kind of adds to their distractibility. It's great to include them in planning things, making lists, having chores that are quick, but lots of them, so that they're moving from one thing to another, but getting, a great variety of doing things. They love that. So multifaceted chores can really be helpful, and giving them frequent movement breaks. They also have big energy needs, just like the choleric child. So they need to know when they can get on that trampoline or run around the block or do their jumping jacks. They do well with having a coach or mentor type person, somebody they can admire. So if there's somebody, they can be connecting with, an aunt or an uncle that they really admire, to share with, they'll often really look to those coaches and mentors, and that can be helpful as like in your co-parenting situation. So these children, the stories that they enjoy are stories about adventures, people who have done really adventurous things. So, as you're kind of supplementing time with them, getting stories in there about the explorers or people who have gone on these amazing journeys. When we're giving stories to the young children, we're often, the sanguines are most taken when there's some journey involved, and we try to look to the story to represent every temperament, but this is the part that really speaks to the sanguine child. Or if they're sitting down to do creative writing, just giving them a prompt of, once there was a young girl and she went on a magnificent journey, and then they can tell all about the journey. They really enjoy that. So they're lovely children, and when allowed to be acknowledged with their temperament, well, first of all, they require some patience. They actually can feel quite hurt if a adult doesn't have patience with them, because and sort of lose control because they're scattered or not operating in the way the adult wants. Whereas the choleric child loses respect when someone gets really angry with them. The sanguine child loses respect when somebody's really impatient with them all the time, because they don't understand why, their bouncy energy is bothering anybody. So it's really about channeling this energy. And they then begin to, when they transform this temperament, coming into adolescence and into their early 20s, they're able to take on more of a choleric energy and get some of that scattered energy into leadership energy. So it is a wonderful thing to work with, so that they have that capacity. But the part that you can help them with is the structure, also knowing that they're the kids that learn from experience. So they're, more so than your talks about things, they're going to bump up against the world and learn from experience, but they can tend to burn themselves out if they don't have structure and learn to take a little bit of downtime, and that could just be worked into the rhythm of their day. So that is our sanguine child.